In a post from Taylor Hanson, Springfield, Ohio, he writes, a Haitian is caught on video chopping an animal apart with a machete in public. The video is taken by a resident of the Red Couch Apartments. Now, I want to stress right away, this is not confirmed. What I can confirm for you is there is a video showing a man who appears to be a black man butchering something or cutting up something in a field. It does appear to be Springfield, but not, it's just a single grainy video. And I think it's important that we kind of chill and say, is it evidence? Sure. Is it proof? No. But in this story, as the media has often lied, we do have evidence, thanks to the work of Chris Rufo, that somebody's eating cats, because a video from over a year ago, this is a video we've covered, shows what is very obviously cats on a grill in the Dayton area. Now, these migrants are from the Congo that live in the area, not from Haiti. So there is a lot we can break down. But they have tried to have Trump and Vance arrested for bringing these stories up. Trump goes on stage and says, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, and they say, arrest them. First of all, I'm allowed to accuse people of eating dogs and eating cats. Now, if it is an egregious lie without evidence directed at an individual, I think they're going to sue you for defamation. But if you say we've seen a preponderance of evidence suggesting that people may be butchering animals or eating cats, not dogs, I've not seen that, then you're allowed to do it. And ain't nobody going to lock you up for your free speech. But as for this video, this one's interesting. Is it real and what does it mean? Well, let me play the video for you. And then I think there's a strong possibility this is staged. I really do. Whenever you can't see the person's face, it's filmed in a weird way. I would not be surprised if someone's trying to stage stuff. I can't assert that as fact, however. I just say hold that in the back of your mind. Have doubt on these videos because there is an incentive politically to push these claims. As for the Chris Rufo video showing the cats on the grill, well, I got news for y'all. That's from over a year ago, well before any of this was going on. It looks like in this video, someone is butchering a goose and someone secretly filmed it. I don't think you'd need to. I think if you were watching somebody butcher a goose, you can hold your phone up and say, hey, why are you butchering that goose? And then the guy can be like, what's your problem? I think there's a possibility it's staged. I do. But we'll talk about it. So smash the like button, share this video with all your friends, follow me on X, and all that good stuff. Let's play the clip. Okay, there's no audio, I guess. Then I'll just describe it. So here we can see, I don't know that he's even cutting an animal. I don't know that he's doing anything untoward. I can't tell what it is. Maybe it's a chicken. And so let me put it this way. This may be a video of a man in his backyard butchering a chicken. That's not shocking nor extreme to the sentiments of the average person. It is not graphic in any way. People cut chicken all the time. If I made a video where I was like, here's a chicken leg and we're going to cut it, people would be like, I like chicken legs. If it's a goose, same thing. I can make a video where I'm like, I've got goose here. We're going to be serving up goose, whatever, I don't know. No one's going to care. So the issue, I suppose, is it looks like he's cutting up some kind of animal in his backyard. Okay. Here's what I got to say. That's all that seems to be. And I don't know what he's doing. He's got a machete. I don't know who this guy is, or we don't know who he is. We have very limited confirmation on this, my friends. It does look like he may be cutting an animal, I guess. I really don't know. It does look like it may be a goose or a chicken. But I'm going to pause right now and just say, yeah, so what? Honestly, super chat or comment or let me know what you think, but explain to me why this is such a massive viral. It's got 2 million views, 12,000 retweets, with Taylor Hanson saying, caught on video chopping an animal apart with a machete in public. Guys, what animal? Is this guy Haitian? Where is this? A lot of stuff we don't know. And I will stress to you, where I live out in West Virginia, you can hop in your car and basically cross the street and go to any one of these houses and watch someone butchering chickens. Where do you think they do it? So they have these, I don't know what they're called, but it's like a funnel. You take the chicken by the feet, you slide them in, and they chop the chicken's head off. And the blood comes out, and they disembowel him. Then they throw it in that machine. It's got a bunch of little rubber noodles, and it sprays the chicken with steam, and it defeathers them. What is the issue here? There is. I'm not saying there's not. The issue I can see is that if this guy's in an urban residential area butchering a chicken, kind of smelly and not appropriate. But that's really it. We don't know what the animal is, so what more can we say? It does seem, however, to be another bit of evidence that the people who are in these areas are doing things that are not culturally or socially acceptable. Like if you went to the suburbs anywhere and butchered a chicken in the middle of a field in front of a bunch of homes, people are going to get mad about it. Okay, I'm only saying that we do butcher chickens outside in rural areas. So I guess my point is there's a big difference between killing dogs and cats and eating them on a grill and butchering a chicken, although both are socially unacceptable, one substantially more. Now, this Twitter user, formerly do not follow, says, I would love nothing more than to repost your video and get people riled up. Before I can do that, please tell us how you know this is 1, a Haitian, 2, in Springfield, Ohio, and 3, what kind of animal is he chopping up? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, if it's a bird. Now, this user, Griffin, says, I can at least verify this is the Red Coach Apartments in Springfield, Ohio. Notice the brick home lines up perfectly. And I agree with this, actually. It very much does look. You can see here the trees and the fence where it looks like just outside these apartments, somebody was kneeling by this fence and was butchering an animal. And then across the street, which you can see, there's the street, there's the tree, there's the fence, there's the red roof. It looks like it's going through. This is being filmed through the window, it looks like. So this looks legit. Now, here's the house. It looks like someone on the first floor through their window, through their blinds, was filming this man butchering an animal. So let's consider a few things. Is it staged? It may be. By who, for what reason? Whoever did seems to be filming through the blinds with a screen. You can see the window screen right here. A guy was outside by this tree butchering. Who has access to those homes and lives there that is going to be filming someone butchering a chicken? Or any animal for that matter? It appears to be, I would lean towards it's real. What animal is it? We still don't know. Is it a Haitian migrant? We actually don't know. It is but a piece of evidence. But under the bigger component here, which I will make sure we share for you, this video posted by Chris Rufo from a year ago. I'm sorry, he posted it recently, but the video was taken over a year ago in Dayton, was someone saying, I mean, look at this.
Yo, what is this they got on the grill?
Did they kill some cats?
Man, listen, man. There go a cat right there. His ass better get missing, man. Look like his homies on the grill, man.
I love this video. He better get missing. His homies on the grill.
Man, what the fuck?
Yes. So there's the clip posted by Chris Rufo. There is evidence suggesting animals are being butchered. There's been witness testimony. It's been happening. We have the video of cats on a grill in Dayton. There are people who have immigrated to this country, legally and illegally, who have not assimilated and are doing things that are outside our cultural norms and values. So when we are upset about that and say maybe that shouldn't be allowed, perhaps then someone should take it seriously. But I've got something for you. Where is the, here we go. From the Austin American-Statesman. Is it legal to eat dogs in the U.S.? No. Trump made that a law when he signed the 2018 Farm Bill. Hold on there a minute. Really? Now what is this? From September 11th, 2024. Is it legal to eat dogs in the U.S.? No. Trump made it illegal. That's the angle they're going for. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Yeah, well, it's only illegal because you made it that way. Some people like eating dogs. Wow, man. I like our cultural values and traditions. And so when people are eating dogs and cats, I tend to have an issue with that because that is just not how we do things here. And you can make all the arguments in the world for traditions make no sense. And why do we? Well, no, look, man, they're there. We live a certain way. We respect each other. If I have a cat's my pet, I want to let it go run around outside and do cat stuff. Okay. And then I don't want someone taking my cat and eating it. And I don't want someone taking my dog and eating it either. Those are not food animals for us here. Those are pets, companions. And for dogs, they're workers in some instance, especially if they're like a border collie and he's working with your sheep. They're off limits to eat because, well, we have them around for a reason. Cats, not so much utility. It is a common misconception that cats were domesticated for hunting vermin. It is not true. Cats are just an invasive species that we tolerate because they're silly and funny and we like them. Terriers were bred to deal with rodents. But take a look at where we go from here. Haitian group court case against Trump Vance referred to prosecutor in Springfield. They're trying to get Trump and Vance arrested for pointing out that people may be eating cats. Okay, well, it got rejected. This is a story from just the other day. Ohio court rejects Haitian group's arrest warrant requests for Trump and Vance. Let's talk about the importance of our cultural standards. We do not arrest people for saying silly things. We have the First Amendment. These Haitians don't get that. They don't have the same values in the First Amendment that we do. So they outright just say Trump and Vance should be arrested because it's not true. From Straight Arrow News. A panel of judges in Ohio rejected a Haitian group's request to issue arrest warrants against former President Trump and Vance. The Haitian Bridge Alliance asked the Clark County Court to charge Trump and Vance on several counts, including disrupting public services and making false alarms. Jeez. The lawsuit came following the claims the Republican politicians made about Haitian migrants in Springfield eating their pets. Dozens of bomb threats were reported, and the news there was that those bomb threats came from out of the country. On Saturday, October 5th, the court announced it found no probable cause to issue the warrants for or misdemeanor charges against Trump and Vance. Instead, the case will go to the city prosecutor's office. The prosecuting attorney will review whether felony charges should be issued. We take any actions that disrupt the public services or spread misinformation seriously and remain committed to maintaining public order. You dare entertain felony charges over speech, misinformation, they call it. Wild, dude. I'm sorry, look, it's over the top, and sometimes I don't like saying it because it just seems so partisan, but man, if Trump does not win this one, y'all are going to get locked up for hate, for hate speech, for thought crimes. It's exactly what we think. They are contemplating felony charges right now for Trump and Vance for quote unquote misinformation. And I've already shown you evidence, not proof positive, but evidence there are migrants butchering or eating animals. Now, how you get to proof, that's something that's difficult. In the court of law, we tend not to prove things. We provide evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning we get things wrong, but we don't doubt it. Have we reached that threshold? That's for you to decide, or a jury. But the idea that Trump and Vance could be charged with felonies over speaking about things they saw in the news is ludicrous. That's the world they're trying to build. They're going to say 15,000 Haitian migrants arrived in Springfield. Over the past several years, they've been granted temporary protected status to be in the country legally. Critics said the migrants have been unlawfully protected from deportation. Indeed, they use the CBP One app, fill out an application, they get temporary protected status, can come here, and Trump and Vance are critical of this. CNN, our good friends, you knew they'd have to chime in. Jake Tapper compares Trump's hurricane lies to Vance's Haitian conspiracies, taking away from the real problem. The CNN host wasn't the only one fact-checking the presidential hopeful, so was Laura Ingraham on Fox News. Hurricane lies to Haitian conspiracies. Okay. It's not a conspiracy to say that they're eating animals. There is a preponderance of evidence. That's how I'd put it. I don't know what they're doing, but people in the town have been, look, how many videos now of locals being like, oh, yeah, we see him taking the cats. There's a video of cats on a grill. Granted, Chris Rufo says those are migrants from the Congo, different place. But at a certain point, you have to say it is reasonable to conclude this is happening. We don't know for sure, but it's reasonable, right? So Jake Tapper says it's a conspiracy. Jake Tapper on Monday blasted Trump for baseless allegations that FEMA has been giving money to illegals instead of victims of Hurricane Helene, except they have been. The question is, where are the money? What are the money pools? This is it. I know why, and you know why people are upset. And they're nitpicking bureaucratic procedure to then claim it's not true. It's despicable, but let me show you what he says, and I'll debunk it for you. Quote, sounds a lot like what we heard from officials in Springfield, Ohio, after Trump and Vance falsely claimed the Haitian migrants were eating their neighbors' cats and dogs. Now, I believe Trump may be wrong about dogs, but we have heard people make claims like this. It's actually more so cats. And the claims are more so that animals in general are being butchered in suburban areas. Well, speaking of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, according to Tapper, the GOP candidate falsely suggested there is a meager assistance for Americans who lost everything but their lives from Hurricane Helene, that they were not being offered much by the federal government. The lead host then played a clip from one of the rallies in which Trump said they send hundreds of billions of dollars to foreign nations. And to what they're giving people here, $750, they're offering them $750 to people whose homes have been washed away. Tapper, let me play this for you.
In our 2024 lead at two campaign rallies over the weekend in the battleground states of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump falsely suggested that there is meager assistance for the Americans who lost everything but their lives from her.
Full stop. Fact check. What is meager? Meager is an opinion statement. You can't fact check an opinion. Assistance was provided. Trump agrees. Assistance was provided. Trump says it's meager. They say fact check false. Define meager. It's an opinion. I can't stand these people.
Hurricane Helene, that they were not being offered much by the federal government.
They send hundreds of billions of dollars to foreign nations. And you know what they're giving our people? $750.
Yep.
They're offering them $750 to people whose homes have been washed away.
That would be shocking if it were true that that's all that the federal government was offering these disaster victims. But it's not. On a page called Hurricane Helene Rumor Response, FEMA called the claim false, describing that as just one form of assistance to help people cover essential items like food and water and other emergency supplies in the short term.
So it is literally true. This is what I can't stand about the fake news. Trump's complaints are legitimate. $750 is the disaster relief you can apply for. There are other means of assistance. Trump isn't bringing that up. It's insane. We know what Trump is talking about. 385 million, or was it 58? No, 85 sent to Lebanon over the past year. A new grant, or whatever you want to call it, foreign aid of $157 million. And Donald Trump says $750 being given to these people. Oh, don't get me wrong. They've got the SBA disaster loan, a loan from the government, up to $500,000 if your house was completely wiped out. Yeah, what are people going to do if they already have a mortgage? How are they going to pay these debts? But the fact of the matter is, Trump pointing out that they're giving $750 in disaster relief does not mean there's nothing else being done for anyone else. It means that's the disaster relief.
FEMA goes on to highlight how those victims of this disaster can also apply for temporary housing and personal property and home repair costs. That
through the SBA disaster loan. Why don't you tell them the truth, Jake Tapper?
is not the only false claim that Donald Trump is spreading. Take a listen.
They've given over $1 billion to illegal migrants that came in, and now they have no money for North Carolina, for Georgia, for South Carolina, and Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida.
North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis, a Trump-backing Republican, pushed back on that claim yesterday.
We could have a discussion about the failure of this administration's border policies and the billions of dollars it's costing, but right now, not yet is it affecting the flow of resources to Western North Carolina.
It is not a factor, to be clear. Okay.
Lie. Absolute lie. Absolute lie. Tom, you're wrong. Okay. Let's break this down. There are people who live in what I would call the procedural state, a procedural state of mind. They view the mechanisms of bureaucracy as rigid and unmovable. And there are people who are sane, rational human beings that understand that humans can do what humans need to do. Now, in the latter, these people understand how to win in court. They understand how to take power and get things done. The people who live in the procedural state are the people who are like, I can't cross the street in the middle of the road. It's illegal. That's jaywalking. And they don't. And you shouldn't jaywalk. My point is this. If there is a finite amount of money in the government, I don't care where it is allocated to and who controls which pool of money. If the federal government decides to give illegal immigrant resettlement $650 million, or over the course of the past year plus, over $1 billion in various grants and funding, and then they say, we don't have funding for another hurricane, Trump is correct. The response they're giving is this procedural manipulation to say, that's not true. The funding we have for disaster has been allocated properly. We are talking about the grand scheme of things. Different departments send U.S. taxpayer dollars to foreign countries. That's not FEMA doing it. We are still mad they are doing it. Think about how stupid this sounds and the game they're playing. You go to your roommate and he says, this month, everybody paid their rent and utilities. So we've got $100 for this utility, $100 for for ordering pizzas on Friday nights. And unfortunately, I can't pay the water bill because we're out of money for the water bill. And you're like, yeah, but you have $100 for pizza. just take that $100 and pay the water bill. No, I can't do that. It's not my fault. It's how the money was allocated, really. We're like, shut up. The money is sitting there. We get it. You could use an executive authority or an act of Congress, whatever you need to do to allocate those funds. It's been done by many presidents in the past where they say, we have access to emergency federal funding through, say, the Army Corps of Engineers or something like this, and we're going to apply that to the disaster and send in the Army Corps of Engineers for certain relief that FEMA can't cover because the allotment isn't there. So when Donald Trump says they're spending $1 billion, he's saying the federal government has this money and has allocated towards non-citizens. Why haven't we allocated more money towards disaster relief? They manipulate this to make you think it's not really happening and Trump's lying, when in fact, what Trump is saying is true. The U.S. federal government is mismanaging its funds and giving foreign aid to non-citizens. It's giving U.S. direct aid to illegal immigrants and allocating very little, relatively, to disaster victims. If the argument was literally, in the future, we should reallocate funding to cut foreign aid, cut illegal immigrant resettling, and increase disaster preparedness, that's all Trump would be saying. Now, Trump is saying take action now. But you can't say Trump is wrong. That's ridiculous.
There's also this claim that Trump posted on Truth Social saying that he doesn't, quote, like the reports that I'm getting about the federal government and the Democrat governor of the state of North Carolina going out of their way to not help people in Republican areas, unquote. It's not exactly clear what reports Mr. Trump is referring to, but
we've heard them. I despise these people. There are videos all over X. Fox News has interviewed people. I posted the clip. You know what? I'll pull the clip up for you. Okay. It is remarkable how disgusting CNN and their ilk really is. Let me, here you go. Here's a clip from Fox News talking to residents in North Carolina suffering from Hurricane Helene. Here you go.
I know I've been up to Chimney Rock. I've never seen such devastation in my life. It looks like a war zone. I know people lost their life up there as well. What would your message be to her in the White House? Sean would like to know.
Where are you? Where are you? These people have lost their homes, they've lost their businesses, they've lost everything, and they need some support. They need help.
So, how about this? When Donald Trump says, I'm getting reports that Republican areas are being left holding an empty bag, Jake, I don't know where he's hearing that. Do some fact checking, why don't you? How about you investigate? No, I got to be honest. I can't expect a man to do a fact check when he's just lying. He's just lying and manipulating the context. They play this game where when we say, my dude, stop spending billions on foreign countries and spend them on us, they go, that's misinformation. What? You're literally doing it. No, that's different money. FEMA's got money. FEMA has stated this. They have no money for the next hurricane, and Milton is coming, a historic storm with massive damage headed right into Florida. Florida's going to be left fending for themselves. And it's fortunate they got DeSantis because they're going to be able to do that. But they play this game as though money is not in the hands of the federal government. It's sickening. Here you go. Let's hear more from this liar.
What a Republican governor in a neighboring state had to say about the treatment that South Carolina, a ruby red state, is getting.
What has been the ongoing kind of federal assistance for South Carolina?
It's been superb. We're getting assistance.
There's also this statement from Virginia.
Let's pause real quick. Now, I'm not going to speak to South Carolina residents. If the governor says they're getting the assistance they need, I respect that. And I'll say, okay. Now, if North Carolina residents and Georgia residents are saying we're not seeing support in these areas, I say, okay as well. Jake Tapper, not a good person, is playing this game where he's like, if the government says it, it must be true. It's like when Trump brought up eating the cats and eating the dogs. And he says, we're getting, was it David Muir? He's like, well, the city manager says that's not happening. I don't care what a bureaucrat says. The residents are saying otherwise. But they don't care about getting to the truth. They care about maintaining an establishment narrative.
Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, another Republican, thanking President Biden for his, quote, support and continued coordination to provide assistance to Virginians in need, unquote. These statements, these false statements, are having an impact on the very people who have been impacted by this deadly and financially devastating storm. Just ask North Carolina State Senator Kevin Corbin, who posted on Facebook last Thursday, quote, will you all help stop this conspiracy theory junk that is floating all over Facebook and the internet about the floods in Western North Carolina? Example, FEMA is stealing money from donations. I just talked to one senator that has had 15 calls today about why we don't stop, fill in the blank. 98% chance it's not true. And if it is a problem, someone is aware and on it, unquote.
I'll give Jake Tepper this. People do post insane, false things, and a lot of people do believe it. But I blame Jake. I blame you largely. For what purpose is anything served by claiming Trump is lying when Trump says, we are upset they spend money on illegal immigrants and now FEMA has none? Well, that's not true. FEMA's money is there and has nothing to do with illegal immigrants. It's true. They spent $385 million on Lebanon. Is the argument then would be, okay, let's reallocate foreign funding towards disaster relief, and then we'll have more money to do it. They play a dirty game. They play an absolutely dirty game. Now, Harris, of course, has started becoming Trumpy on immigration, especially with all of these stories. Trump has been repeatedly sounding the alarm on the criminals that have been coming in. And most importantly, I give you this. The end of this segment will be one of optimism for you, my friends. Gallup's most important problem. Right now, according to Gallup, the most important problem is the economy in general, followed by immigration, followed by poor leadership in government, the high cost of living and inflation, and abortion isn't even in, let's see, that's number 4. Then we're going to do unifying the country, guns, crime and violence. And so that puts abortion at number 8. The 8th most pressing problem to people in this country is abortion. They talk about it all the time. But let me tell you why this one matters. According to Gallup's 2024 and political environmental, they say this, election environment favorable to GOP, and they have this great predictor of victory. Going back to 1948, since 1952, Gallup has accurately been able to track which party is going to win based on their polling. So what do we see now? In 1952, there was a 12% advantage towards the Republican Party. The issue here they say, issue mentioned as the most important problem in 1952 was war and peace. And they ask, which political party do you think can do a better job of handling the problem you think is most important? In 1952, people said the most important problem is war and peace, and the Republican Party has that one. Guess what? Republicans won. 1956, Republicans won. In 1960, international issues was the top issue, and it was Democrats favored by 6. Democrats won. You get the point. Across the board, every single time, there has been a major issue. The party that has been asked who can deal with it wins. And right now, according to Gallup, Republicans have a 5% advantage on economy and immigration. That's very interesting. It's leaning in favor of the Republican Party by 5 points, suggesting we are going to be looking at a Republican victory come the next 30 days. There's no guarantees, my friends. Y'all better get out and vote and do what you got to do. But if you're happy with the way things are going, then you can do nothing. If you think we face serious crises, then I encourage you to get active, register your friends and family. If you're in Pennsylvania, by the way, this is the Keystone State. No joke, quite literally. If Kamala loses Pennsylvania, she loses. If Trump can't win Pennsylvania, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to win. So the people of Pennsylvania, you guys are the heavy lift right now. Best of luck. Smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Share the show with everyone you know. It's the best morning show. Everyone agrees. At least that's what I've been told. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. And stick around. The next segment will be coming up at 4 p.m. on this channel. But for those watching live, we will prepare the next segment and we will jump to your super chats.